examination. Okay, so out of it, and I just since I think started to knowing about in the first semester. I think this is the second semester after writing it. You have studied that. So where we will understand a few of very important things in your book. Okay, so let me discuss the important one. How many units it consists of here is that first unit. The name of the first unit would be political ideologies. In a political ideologies, you will understand liberty, okay, legislature, and equality. These are all the three terms where an ideologist you need to understand in a detailed manner. Okay. So second unit again the political ideologies, which continues in the second unit also, which is where you will understand about rights, and also at the same time you will understand about justice. Okay, so that was in second unit. In the first unit, you'll be having in three topics. Okay, one is in legislature, another one is in liberty, and the third one is in equality. When it comes to second unit, again it continues in political ideologies, where you see and topic 4 is consist of rights. I think, do you have the book in your hand? How many students have joined in the class right now? Only one student, I believe. Okay. Okay, fine then. So okay. And in the second unit, you'll be having an rights, as well as you also know about an justice. Okay. And the third unit, you consist of political institutions. Out of it, the sixth topic from the unit of 3 is that theory of Montesquieu, division of power, or else it can be called it as a separation of authority. Okay. And next one, executive, it's a functions and responsibilities. You should understand in the seventh topic. And the eighth topic would be legislature, and it is in types of legislature, and it is an important and functions and roles and responsibilities. We will understand. And the ninth topic would be judicial review and judiciary. We will discuss in the ninth topic. And in the fourth topic would be, and I mean, fourth unit would be, it's talking about an Indian constitution or constitutionalism. And you know that in types of the constitutions and the types of the government will see that. And the 11th topic would be classifications of the government, how where we will understand about federation, will understand about that in quasi federation. I think presidential form of government, parliamentary form of government, unitary and kinds of government. It's a features. All of that we will understand here. And the fifth unit would be is around we will discuss about, and we will discuss regarding this democracy, where we will understand about meaning of democracy and kinds of democracies, like direct democracy, indirect democracy. What are they? And that's an achievements and about this. All these things we'll discuss. And the last topic would be representative democracy. We will understand about the ideas of and representative democracy also. We'll understand that. Okay. So out of it here, we will also understand the first. We are going to have discussion on first. I think we should wait until 5 minutes. After that, we'll begin the class, and no students has come at right now. Okay. Okay. I will start up that. I was explaining the units, what you have with the 5 units. Today we'll start up the first unit. What is a legislature? Okay. We are going to have discussions entirely is about legislature. You know, in entire the organs of government, we have three different organs. One is legislature, another one is an executive, and as well as we have also the judiciary. But before going to know about all these things, one must understand exactly about what is exactly the meaning of a legislature, how it is and helps out to making of laws. Primarily, I just wanted to tell you the etymological understanding of this legislature. What is legislature? And then after that, I'll make you to understand about an other concept and how legislature in text of and Indian context and how we will understand. This I'll tell you. A legislature is an assembly and with and authority to make laws for a political entity. Such as a country or city, they often contrasted with the executive and judicial powers of a government. Generally, and you know that in order to making of any laws, say for example today, India is welfare type of a country which we consider that. Every concept of that in the thing which almost and done by the legislature. Without a legislature intervention, imagination of governance and as well as to the policies of an implementation would become a very difficulty for us. So as is a legislature will make the laws. The major importance of this, and if you could see here is that making of laws. Okay. So one second. So in Indian context, if you see that we have a legislature where it makes the laws which is essential for the people. You know that since India is a welfare country, even in the Indian constitution, it is mentioned very clearly that it's a responsibility of a government is take care of all the things which are necessity or needed to the people of a nation, isn't it? Such as that in providing free health facilities to the people and citizens of a nation, providing and health treatment to them, providing basic needs to the people who are living from grassroots level to national level. It is a basic responsibility of a government. Do you understand that? So, as in keeping in view of that, what I'm trying to tell it here is that, you know, all these procedure, like, every political party before coming into the power, they give promises to the people. Do you understand my point? They give promises as a part of a manifesto on all of that. So after giving this, all this, promises after they came into the power, it's their responsibility to that to and implement all those policies. Do you understand that? So in keeping in view of that, and who makes all these policies and all of that here is that all the policies which are built up by a legislature. What is the procedure of that and the here legislature how it implements it. Just I'll tell you the one an example here is that see in India, since India is a parliamentary form of government, we have a bicameral legislature, isn't it? Legislature, what is the legislature? The first unit I'm going to talk about here. Legislature means is a nothing but making of laws. Okay. Making of laws for whom? People's welfare. Okay. What are the laws? It will be prepared in the sense means any law which is and welfare to the nation, any law which is in respective to the development of a citizen as well as to the country, isn't it? Today we have a different laws. A laws, for example, we have in certain laws which it can regulate it at the behavior of an every individual. We have a lot of acts also which have been prepared and in order to punishing the people, those who are committing mistakes and all of that. We have also an acts which are prepared to that if anyone who actually, abrogated the rights of another individual. Okay. So all these are things which have been and prepared and act and also at the same time implementing it. So before going to tell it as an act, one must understand about how the act procedure can be turned out. Let's see. India has a parliament where bicameral legislature will exist over there. What is a bicameral legislature means? There are two houses which presents in the parliament. One is Lok Sabha, another one is in Rajya Sabha. Do you understand my point? So here is that one thing you need to understand. Any policy and any act before going to make it into the parliament, there are certain bills. Okay, before a legislature making an act, the concern thing which will be in the form of a bill. What is a bill? Is something, any of a thing which is in relations to the societal development can be introduced in the parliament for a discussion and before making to the act here. So bill is something is that a draft form of act. Bill is something is that a draft form of act. Do you understand my point? Today, you may see that in everything. Say, for example, we have a Right to Education Act. We have a Right to Information Act. We have, that in all these acts which you have it, isn't it? So how those acts are been developing, how those acts are been and implementing in the sense means, before making into the act, there is a procedure which is called as an bills. So there are three kinds of the bill which we have it, isn't it? The kinds of the bills, if you could see majorly, it will be in classic into the form of three types. Okay. So what are those bills here is that, if you can write it down, possibly, if it is possible, everyone, the bills in a parliament can be classified in different and things. No, there are, majorly we have two bills. Okay, one is public bills as well as private members bill. Majorly on the grounds of that, we have, that in generally the bills can be classified into the major basis. It will be introduced into the two parliament in two types. One is in public bills and private members bills. Let me tell you what is here. Again, those bills are in major, thing which will be classified into the four types. Okay, majorly the classifications of the bill shall be treated in terms of in two types. One is in private bills, is also called as a private members bill. Public bills, which is also called it as a government bills. Do you understand that? Generally, and we and the people before making into the act, and we introduced into the four kinds of the bills in the and parliament. One is an ordinary bills, money bills, financial bills, and the constitutional amendment bills. How many kinds of the bills we have in the major grounds means, and we have four and categories of the bill, isn't it? So two kinds of the bill, and those two kinds of the bill which will be classified into the four categories of the bill. There are four categories are here: ordinary bills, money bills, as well as financial bills and constitutional amendment bills. Hope you understand what I'm trying to say there. How many kinds of the bills we have? Majorly, and we have and four kinds of the bills which we have in our parliamentary system. So before going to and what it as a legislature here is that legislature makes the laws, and how it makes the laws. Can you tell me the other name of an legislature? What we call other name of a law? Can anybody tell me that? Other, we also call law in the form of other name. What is it? What is it? Can anybody respond? Is that my voice is clear to everybody?
Don't know, sir.
No. If you see, law also can be named it as another way. What does it mean? Act. Can you heard it in act? Have you heard it in act? No. Okay. So it can be called it as an act. So before going to make it as an act, there are four kinds of the bills which will be there. Let me tell you the first kind of a bill. What is it? Ordinary bills. Okay. Ordinary bills. As per the articles which are mentioned in the Constitution 107 to 108 of Indian Constitution, an ordinary bill is a concern with any matter other than financial subjects. Okay. An ordinary bill is introduced in either house of the parliament. Bill is introduced by a minister or a private member. There is no recommendation of the president in case of ordinary bill. Ordinary bill can be amended and rejected by the Rajya Sabha, and it can be detained by Rajya Sabha for a period of 6 months. After being passed by both the houses of the parliament, it is presented to the president for his approval and assent under Article 111 of Indian Constitution. There is a provision of joint sitting in case of an ordinary bill. The first kind of a bill, which is called ordinary bill, which is to be called it shall comes under which kind of a bill? It is a private member's bill. Any of the bill, if it is introduced by a common parliamentarian in the parliament, common parliamentarian, which is called an MP, whether it should belongs to Rajya Sabha MP or else he should belongs to Lok Sabha MP. If any one of them, a non-minister member, introduced a bill, that is called it as an ordinary bill. And it shall discuss in the Constitution in the 107 article clearly that. So the bill, if it is introduced by only a private member, if he is not a government and means minister, such kind of a bill will be treated as an ordinary bill. This ordinary bill will consist of the matter for an entire national, okay, ordinary related information which will be there in this particular bill. So before and that in submitting this kind of a bill, a member of introducing bill does not require to inform a president of India. You understand that? In ordinary bills, before going to submit in the parliament, a member of parliamentarian does not require to take a permission from a president. Okay. And after submitting an ordinary bill, there shall be a discussion initially. Okay. So these discussions shall take place between two houses. So for example, and you take it as any other bill in terms of prohibition of tobacco consumption in India. Okay. So the discussion which takes place in the Lok Sabha, as well as it also goes to the Rajya Sabha. So there is no particular tenure within such time. Rajya Sabha has to send it back the bill after submitting back to them. It's not and consist of all such kind of an information over there, isn't it? So ordinary bills are bills which is submitted into any of the house by any of the member, isn't it? So and at the same time, this and will consist of any matter which is in relations to the matter of a public matter of nation. This is an first kind of a bill which is called an ordinary bill. And also the money bills. So money bill can be treated as an important bill, and finance minister itself should submit it into the house before going to discuss this bill, isn't it? So this bill maybe in terms of matters like taxation matter, like increasing of the taxes or decreasing of the taxes, or majorly public expenditure matter. So any bill, if it is consist of financial matters, okay, any bill which is consist of a financial matters, there could be a public expenditure, there could be a taxation, different canons of taxations and all of that. If such thing consists of it, it shall be treated as a money bills. Okay, these bills compulsory according to the Article 110 of the Indian Constitution. Bill is to be presented in Lok Sabha for an unmandatory basis. It is instructed by the minister. Money bill is introduced only after president recommendation. What you have to do it. So in an ordinary bill, before going to submit into the legislature, you does not require to and take a permission from a president. But before going to submit many bills, the one has to and introduce and one has to and intimate it to the president. After that only there is a possibility of to submitting the bill in the house. This bill cannot be amended and rejected by Rajya Sabha. In ordinary bills, there is a possibility of that in legislature to have a certain that an rejection or withhold and that an use of any kind of an authority. But when it comes to the point of the case of here is that in our financial bill, There's no authority which isn't granted for a president to use any kind of a veto against the bill. Okay, this is called, and the bill which is called, financial bill. Next one, money bills. When it comes to the financial bill, as per the Article 117 of Indian Constitution, financial bills are those bills which are concerned with financial matters must be different from money bills. Financial bills are further classified as a financial bills category A, category B. Category bills contains provision dealing with the matters of in specific areas, such as article class of 1 of the Article 110 of Indian Constitution. Category B bills involves expenditure and consolidated fund of India related all things. If it is anything, it is need to be modified and amended, it shall be submitted in the financial bill. Once this financial bill also need to be taken as a permission from president before going to submit it. So these are all money bills, and the third one, financial bill. If if a president sign it, then it shall be comes under the act, isn't it? And the constitutional amendment bill, another one. Any part of the constitution, if it is required for an amending that, okay, if it is required for amending that, there is a need to submitting this constitutional bill to the house. Do you understand that? When it comes to the point of these four kinds of the bill which you have seen it, okay. Hence, what I mean to say, in the first chapter, you can go to the page number, what I can say, page number 5 to 6. Here you can find it and informations about it and about the legislature and all of that. So here I said about in private members bills and public bills. So what is majorly the importance of this and legislature is that you have to keep it in a mind. It prepares the laws for the protection of the country. What is a major first chapter in your book, if you have it, and see that the first lesson name is a legislature. What is legislature? So far what we have discussed here is that legislature is something that which is making of laws. What is legislature means? Legislature means is a making of laws for the country. Okay, making of act for the country protection. So before going to make it of all such kind of the bills, act, the parliamentary members should submit a bill. Okay, what is a bill? It is a draft form of act. Okay, you understand my point? It is a draft form of an act, isn't it? How many kinds of the bills we have in India in the sense means majorly, and we have two kinds of the bills only. One is a public bill and private members bill. Okay, and public bills are government bills. Private members bills are which it can be introduced by the private members of the and Lok Sabha. Do you understand that? And also at the same time, if you see here, so if you see, I have explained about an ordinary bill, money bill, financial bill, and constitutional amendment bill. Okay, so what are the functions and what are the major importance and significance of a legislature? Legislature has a very much significance. It prepares the laws the respective to the country. It prepares the laws for the protection of the country. It prepares the laws for developing the welfare concepts into the country, and it prepares the laws to punishing the people. It prepares the laws to stopping the people in order to not to doing any kind of mistakes which is against the state. So legislature held the much of a responsibility making of all the laws in terms of protections of the country. This is the second, and in the first topic which I've said it. Next topic, we'll go into the first unit. It was that, what is it here is that, I'll tell you, next one is that, liberty. First thing that I'll tell you, what is liberty? Okay, liberty means having no constraints and restraints is called as a liberty. Okay, what is liberty? You should understand. Liberty is a word I've taken from Latin language liber. Okay, liberty जो word Latin word से लिया गया है, Latin में इसका मतलब होता है liber. Liber के माने होते हैं no constraints and no restraints. Okay, ఎలాంటి అండ్ వివక్ష లేకుండా, ఏ రకమైనటువంటి కండిషన్స్ లేకుండా ఒక వ్యక్తి తన యొక్క కంప్లీట్ హక్కులని పూర్తిగా కనుక ఉపయోగించి ఉంటే అతనిని ఏమంటారంటే స్వేచ్ఛతో ఉన్నాడు అని చెప్తారు, లిబర్టీతో ఉంటారు. So, what is exactly the liberty here is that ఎలాంటి రిస్ట్రిక్షన్స్ కానీ కన్స్ట్రెయిన్స్ కానీ ఎలాంటి రూల్స్ కానీ ఇంపోజ్ చేయకుండా ఉంటే దానిని లిబరల్ వరల్డ్ అనే పేరుతో మనం పిలుస్తాం. ఇజంట్ ఇట్? I think everybody knows that what is the meaning of liberalization. Do you know about the concept of liberalization? Anybody else? Wait. Is that my voice is audible to everyone? What is the meaning of liberalization? If you understand that, you will understand easily the concept of liberty. Can anyone speak up? Do you understand that? Yes. Means liberalization is something that where you do not have any kind of a regulation to do a business. Say for example, I am going to United States of America. If United States of America provided me an opportunity to do the work, okay, where if the same country restricted me to not to leave for more than 5 years in the country, will it be treated to be as a liberty, a liberal world? Is absolutely no. If anything, if it is possessed by restrictions and constraint, that it shall not be called it as a liberty. For example, you're all citizenship of a country, okay? Being as a citizen of country, if a country prepares a law that you should not have a right to have a food outside, okay? Will you feel it is uncomfortable in your life? Will you be and thinking that this is a world and where you are enjoying all your rights? So for example, hope you understand what I'm asking the questions to everybody here. See, for example, if government have served some restrictions on you that you should not supposed to have a food outside, there is no possibility of to eating outside of the food. Will it be treated as a good and steps of the government, or else will you treat it to be as in this is the restrictions for you? What do you think that? If the restrictions are, it is a liberty. See, again example I'll give you. See, for example, you are and you know that allowed to study and in a distance mode. If a government prepares a certain rule that you are not allowed to and study in distance mode of education, you are only allowed to study and in a regular mode, will it be treated as comfortable to you, to everyone, or will it be treated as and good restrictions to every individual? What do you say? You will not advise it, isn't it? You will not be treated as and this liberty. See, liberty is something, the word what says that Thomas Hobbes, every individual should enjoy their rights, whatever they wish to become, whatever they wish to do it in the society, that it shall be called it as a liberty. Okay. Liberty is something that which gives you a full of freedom, which gives you a full of liberty to enjoy your life, isn't it? So there are two kinds of the liberties. One is a negative liberty, another one is a positive liberty. Okay. Negative liberty is something that where a person does not have any and restrictions behalf of the government. Do you understand my point? Where a person does not have any restraints behalf of the government, it shall be treated as a negative liberty. Okay. What is a positive liberty? If menial level, if a government have intervened into the matters of a right protection, it shall be called it as a positive liberty. In order to achievement of a person's goals in the society, in the political science, you shall learn about what is liberty. Okay. Liberty in a major forms, it is a two types, negative liberty and positive liberty. What is a positive liberty? Positive liberty is a liberty where a government slightly intervene into the matters of an every individual in order to protections of your rights. Okay, this is called it as an positive liberty. You understand my point? What is negative liberty? Negative liberty is a something that where a government does not entertain into the matters of any of an individual, isn't it? So it is called it as a negative liberty. I think here is that one thing. Then Rousseau, which I've quoted about in how the liberty is required to the progress of every individual in the society. You understand my point? And a person and the existence of his life, everybody requires a certain liberties. Okay, like in terms of enjoying your rights, in terms of enjoying your and in the things. See, for example, we have a positive freedom, we have a negative freedom, isn't it? So, what is it? I mean, negative freedom. You know, if a negative freedom is a something where you do not enjoy any often things, often we use in liberty and freedom should be treated to be as in the same line of words. But of course, in higher classes, you should have and similarly have differentiations in that. If, for example, you should be having a different kinds of that in freedom, such as that in freedom of choice. Okay, what you wanted to eat, what you doesn't want to eat, and you should have a certain and I mean such rights. If a government tells that you should only this eat and you should not supposed to eat that, if such kind of restrictions, if it is entertained by and any of them, okay, it shall be called it as an unrestricted world. So here in the political science, you should understand about liberty, where every individual should enjoy all these liberties without having all the rights, without having any kind of a disturbances. So liberty and the how it helps out a person's life. Okay, according to Rousseau, what he says that every man born in free are nature, but everywhere he fits in chains. Okay, so every person and should born in a nature where he has all the rights to enjoy, like he can eat whatever he wants to that, and he can and talk and whatever he wants to talk. He can he can go from one place to another place, so wherever he wants to go that all these things it shall be treated to be as a kind of an freedom of choice. Okay, so to enjoying the freedom of choice and to and that and to live your life perfectly, it shall be called it as an and liberty. Okay, but today I think there is a power issue which I'm not able to continue it. I think already I have recorded a class since in 10 15, so the classes will be there, and tomorrow, I mean in the next week, we'll start it off that. Don't worry, I'll finish it out entire your syllabus. If you have any questions to that, and in the next sessions we'll be discussing about it. Thank you so much for being in the online session. Okay, bye bye everyone.
అవి తీసేస్తుంటే మళ్ళీ వస్తుంది.
హాయ్
అట్లా ఎఫెక్ట్ ఇచ్చింది. ఎక్కడన్నా
హలో
గోడ నెరలు వారి ఉన్నప్పుడు అప్పుడు ఈ పక్షులు
హలో
ఇవి ఏమన్నా తినేసిందండి. అంటే అడవులు పెరగటానికి ప్రధానమైన
ఇస్
కారణం
ఎనీవన్ దేర్?
పక్షులు, జంతువులు. ఇవి ఏవేవో తింటాయి, తినేసిన తర్వాత అవి విసర్జిస్తాయి.
హాయ్
ఎక్కడ పడితే అక్కడ ఓపెన్ చేయొచ్చు. అవి విసర్జించినప్పుడు అందులో ఉండే
ఇస్
విత్తనాలు
ఎనీవన్ దేర్?
చెట్టుగా ఉంటుంది. అడవులు పెరగటానికి ముఖ్యమైన కారణం ఇదే. ఈవెన్
హలో
జంతువులు కూడా అక్కడ ఇక్కడ ఏమైనా మేకలు తీసేసి మన సాగు జంతువులు ఉంటాయి, శాకాహార జంతువులు, ఇవన్నీ తినేసి ఆ అడవులు ఎక్కడంటే అక్కడ క్రమంగా అట్లా వచ్చినప్పుడు వాటిని తీసేయవలసింది. వాటి అతను తీసేయాల వద్దన్న పెద్ద మినిమం. ఇక ఏదో తెగించి తీసేసినా కూడా మళ్ళీ వస్తూనే ఉంటాయి, తీసేస్తుంటాయి. కొంతమంది నర్సరీ నుంచి ఎవరైనా పిలిపించి వాళ్ళ చేత తీపిచ్చేస్తూ ఉంటారు. అదే ఒక్కటో రెండో ఉంటే అది ఏమన్నా శిథిలమైపోతూ ఉంటాయో అటువంటి శిథిలమైపోతున్నటువంటి కాంపౌండ్ వాల్స్ నెర్రల్లో ఈ వృక్షాలు ఎక్కువ వస్తుంటాయి. నా అస్వస్థత చేసినా కూడా నేను ఆ చెట్టు